Welcome to Talk That, Nola Education presented by New Schools for New Orleans. You're joined by your host, Dr. Jaquil Ross, and today on the show, I'm joined by some good friends of mine from over at the district, New Orleans Public Schools. First, I have Dr. Fatima Fulmore, Deputy Superintendent. Hey, Doc.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. And then I have Kristen Ilarmo, Executive Director of K-12 Enrollment over at the district as well. How you feeling today, Kristen?
Feeling great. Thanks for having me.
Awesome, awesome. Glad to have you all. Today is a big day.
Yes,
For
it is.
More than one. I was told that Dennis Allen got fired today too.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm gonna stay off of that.
You gonna
one.
stay off of
Out.
But you know, I'm just saying.
A lot of the fans, I think, they got what they wanted for Christmas, huh? Came early.
Christmas
All right.
came early for the Saints.
All right. So outside of that, what's going on? We also know that today is the opening day of enrollment for the 25-26 school year for K-12 education, correct?
That's right.
Yes,
Main
that's
round has
right.
launched.
And we are live.
Live.
The application is live.
Okay, good. And so far, so good, right?
So far, so good.
Good.
Yeah,
Awesome.
We're excited.
Over 100 applications already in.
Boom, that part. People are getting started.
Yes.
They
I love when
were
went-
ready as soon as it went live.
Look,
Families
was
were
it live
on.
was it live at midnight or was it live this morning?
It went live at 10 a.m. this morning.
10 a.m.
Just
this
a little
morning,
after
okay.
10.
Just
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah. But I will take this moment to say there is no reason to do the application the hot second it goes live.
Okay.
You have until January 24th to get that application in. Take your time. Do your research. Visit some schools.
Okay.
No special points for getting it in on the first day at all.
Got it. All right. Now, Chris, let's start off with you. Tell me a little about yourself.
Sure.
Are you from New Orleans?
I am originally from South Carolina, but
From
I've been
South
here
Carolina.
since 2004.
Okay. And how you got involved in education in New Orleans?
I joined the RSD
Okay.
as the director of early childhood back in 2014.
All
We're going
right.
to go with the Wayback Machine. Yeah. So that was, an exciting time. That was when we were just bringing the early childhood programs
Yes.
into the Common Application.
Mm-hmm.
Did a lot of work with the schools and families to learn how to get that to be a functional piece of
Okay.
our Common Application. And over the years, I've held different jobs at the district.
Okay.
And started as the director or executive director of K-12 services a
Okay.
couple years ago. I
Okay.
think 2 years ago.
She's been rolling ever since.
Okay. All right. Now, Doc, you've been on the show before. Before our callers, can you just, listeners, excuse me, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself? Where all you've been before you landed here in New Orleans?
Oh, yeah. So I've now been here. This is year 3 in New Orleans, and I love it. And I've had the opportunity before coming here. I've worked in the Northeast, Southeast, and Midwest. So
Okay.
I spent a lot of time in North Carolina. That's where I graduated high school and
Okay.
then started my career in education after college. Then spent some time in Philly, did some
Okay.
work out there, and then went out to the Midwest, Nebraska.
Oh, gosh.
Yes. It's probably like negative degrees there now. But and from Nebraska, I made my way here to
Okay.
New Orleans and been rolling ever since.
And Doc, and talking about rolling, I even saw Doc rolling in Zulu.
Listen.
You had rolling. Yeah, she rolled in Zulu.
No, I was not. I was catching stuff.
Oh, you were just catching stuff.
I was
Okay.
catching. Now
Okay.
I was real close to the float, so it may
Okay.
have looked
It may
like
have
I
looked
was
that
on
way.
there.
Okay.
Because I was
But
Maybe
wait,
a doctor to photo or
Right
two.
there.
We gotta
just
get you on the
kidding.
float.
you got to get me on the float.
We gotta
Okay.
get you on the float.
So I can,
Yes.
throw some things.
So you can have
out
the
there.
ultimate Mardi Gras experience.
I want the ultimate
Yes.
Mardi Gras experience.
If
All right.
anyone's listening.
I know. Anyone listening, I'm ready. I've been working on my toss.
You're really tough.
So I'm ready. That's how close I try to get to make sure. So
Yes.
it may look like I was on there.
It is definitely, as they said, it is a marathon.
It is.
It is a marathon, not a sprint.
It is.
So, Kristen, why do you stay committed to this work? You've been at RSD, you've been in various positions at Nola PS.
Yeah.
Why does this remain a core of like who you are?
It's a good question. Yeah. Because I've been doing this for a decade.
Yes.
I am a process person.
Okay.
I want to have an efficient process that works for families, that works for schools, and I want that from the beginning to the end. Simplicity is hard,
Okay, it is.
and I just keep working to get the simplest possible process we can have for schools and for families.
Nice.
So I keep coming to work every day
You
because
keep
it's
coming-
not simple yet.
It
But
ain't
it's
simple yet.
closer,
It's
a lot
getting there.
closer
It's
now.
getting there.
This
We're working on
time,
it.
I am so excited about
Good.
some of the simplicities that we have
All right.
baked in.
We're going to talk about it. And, Doc, why do you stay committed to this work?
Let me tell you, I always say to people that education literally saved and changed the trajectory of my life.
Okay.
And so I know what it did for me. And I believe that if we get this thing right, we can truly change the lives of the children that we serve, the families, and the community that we serve at large. And so
Yeah.
this is hard work for me. And so I work hard at it, and I've been doing it for more than 20 years. And this is my life's work. And it's an honor to do it.
Good. Awesome. Such great answers. All right. So let's start off first. We know this was once called One App. I know a lot of people refer to it as One App still, but now it does have a new name. It is called the New Orleans Common Application Process. So, Kristen, can you tell us what is the New Orleans Common Application Process?
Sure. Yep. So NCAP, as we call it, it is that single application that so all of our schools are in it. We're
Okay.
talking about K-12 that opened today. Early childhood is going to open later in January.
Yes.
But so we've got our K-12 application open today. So if you need a seat from kindergarten to 12th grade, you can go on to our website at enrollnolaps.com, the K-12 tab, and complete that application. As we discussed, you do not have to do it today.
You don't have to do it
However,
today.
it is open and ready. But so NCAP is that one-stop shop to complete the application, to see all of your choices. It simplified the process that we had before, where folks would, before we had a common application where folks would have to know what were all of the individual rules for particular schools,
Yeah.
and they had individual timelines,
Got
and
it.
there was a real push to simplify that. Like
Got
I
it.
said, yeah. So this is we just keep iterating and improving every year on that process.
Awesome. Sounds like a software update on my phone.
Yes, listen, we just keep, our goal is to just keep better and better.
and better. I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
All right. Now, in our unique system of schools, why is this application process important for families?
I would say, in addition to what Kristen shared about it being a one-stop shop and
Okay.
simplifying the work for families, it also takes the load off of our schools so that
Okay.
they can focus on engaging with families and what our schools offer.
Okay.
They get to have open houses, talk to families more directly, give that personal touch,
Okay.
so that families know what to expect when they're attending our schools. And so we like that it also creates a more equitable process. So like Kristen
Yes.
shared before, I've heard about the days, the long
Ooh,
lines.
I remember those days.
The camping out and all of
Yeah.
the different hardships that enrollment has had over the years for families. So it minimizes the stress on families through this process. So that's what we love about the evolution of NCAP.
And one thing I will also note about this too is that it eliminates the barrier when it comes to transportation. Of families at one point had to go to the school building,
right.
And wait in those lines. Whereas now it is simply accessible from their
phone.
computer or even their cell phone.
Their
now.
phone, they can
That's
do it
right.
right on the phone.
This
Yes.
application is mobile optimized. It is mobile first.
Come on,
Yes, that's right.
come on, that part.
Listen, we are doing everything we can to make it better for families.
All right, now, Kristen, you mentioned this earlier. What is the timeline for the NCAP for K-12?
Yep. So it opened today. So
Okay.
that's November 4th, and it will close on January 24th at midnight.
Got it.
And that is the date that's more important than today,
Okay.
as we discussed. But folks do want to get that application in by the deadline, which again is January 24th, because after that, there's no way to get it in for a main round. There's
Got it.
other enrollment cycles, other enrollment opportunities throughout the year, but
Got it.
this is the best one to get in for your eligibilities, to have your eligibilities and your priorities count.
Got it.
Yeah, and Dr. Ross, if we can add to that, we spent several months engaging with families in our schools
Okay.
about having more clear timelines for enrollment.
Okay.
We know families and schools were both frustrated with this year it opens at this time. Next year it opens at another time and closes in it was just chaos for families.
Got
And
it.
so we've been listening, and now we are in a place where we are working to ensure that each year
Okay.
NCAP opens the first Monday in November.
Okay.
So
That's
that no
today.
matter what the
Awesome.
date
Okay.
it is,
No matter
yeah,
the date.
first Monday in November
Okay.
and closes the fourth Friday in January.
Okay.
And so that is our commitment that we will work towards every year, so families know what to
Good.
expect. And we also understood how important it was for families to receive their match results sooner than later. And so
Yes.
this year, match results will be released by March 31st.
Okay.
So we are working each year to ensure that we can release match results in March for families in our
Got it.
schools.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So
Because I remember when families wouldn't find out till May.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Look,
This
times,
is good.
yeah, we're getting
Come
better.
on, efficiency. All right.
My
So-
favorite word.
So, Kristen, it opened today. It closes the fourth Friday of January, correct?
Yep.
And so I can do this on Thanksgiving Day. I can do
You
this on
certainly can.
Christmas Day.
You certainly can.
Okay.
Yes. You do not have, yeah.
doesn't
it is
matter.
it is open the whole time. It is
Got
open
it.
in the middle of the night. It is open on Sunday. It is open on Christmas Day, like you
There you
said.
go.
Every year we have people put in the application on Christmas Day, and I always think, really?
Yeah, it's just
The fact that you're tracking that, you see that.
I don't know, because I'm just curious.
follows all the data. She is always watching the data. of the
I'm in the
application.
details.
Good. So we talked briefly about some of the new features. For example, is now mobile friendly.
Mm-hmm.
What else? What other new features can family look forward to on the NCAP this year?
Sure. One of my favorite new features, it's not exactly new, we started it last year, but
Okay.
we've continued to improve
Improve it, okay.
is a passwordless login. So,
Okay.
Folks come to this application probably once a year, maybe more, to the parent portal,
Yeah.
right? But it's not a situation where you're going to remember your password.
No.
This is not something that you're using every day.
No.
So we wanted to put a lot of emphasis into simplifying
Okay.
that login process. Another one of my favorite words,
Okay,
simplifying.
simplifying. Okay.
So we do have that passwordless login feature, which is fabulous. So folks can put in their email address and then just go to their email to retrieve their code. This
Got
is
it.
probably something that you've used with other sites. You just plug that code in, and then you're fine.
Okay, good.
You can also use a Google login or a Facebook login, in which case you
look at
don't
y'all.
have to
Fancy,
use
right?
a code. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And you
like
can
that.
use them interchangeably, which is
Okay.
great. So you don't have to remember now whether you started with Facebook or Google or your email. You can use them all interchangeably.
Okay.
Yeah, we really had that. That's
That's a good one.
that is a tested formula that works because we
Okay.
used it all the summer and it really works great. And it is a big improvement because I used to say back in the day, oh, logging in is the hardest part.
Trust me, I helped 8th grade families
Right.
with the transition to 9th grade.
Yeah.
And logging in was the most difficult part.
Yeah. So we did a lot of work.
Okay.
The more simple you have this kind of thing, the more work it takes. But that should be work for the developers in the back end. It should not be work for families. So
Got
we
it.
were able to
Absolutely.
flip the script on that.
Okay.
And have the hard work be over here and the easy part be for families. And that's exactly where we want to be with all of it. So,
Got it.
Yeah.
I love that.
yeah.
Listen, we love it too.
I love that. Anything else, Chris? We want to know. That's it.
There are some other new features.
Okay.
If you want, I'll jump into them. They pertain to priorities and eligibilities.
All right.
We have that built into the application now.
Oh, then it wasn't
So-
always like that.
It was not always like that. We had versions of it,
Okay.
but now we have what I would consider like a more complete and easier to follow process for families. So
Got it.
once they get to the school selection page, there's a drop down where they can pick all schools, or they can see, oh, look, there's a list of schools that I have half mile priority to.
Okay.
There's a list of schools I have zone priority to.
Okay.
Those are two examples, right? And you can click on that and you'll see those schools also in the all schools list, but you can look specifically at that list of schools that your student has priority to.
Okay.
And same, the eligibility schools are also called out in a separate list. They're in the all schools list, but they're also separately called out
Okay.
in a list that we're calling the eligibility schools because we want folks to be very aware that there are different requirements for those schools, additional requirements,
Got
right?
it.
Might have to take a test, language test, or academic test.
Okay.
You know, there are important next steps.
Okay.
And speaking of next steps, that's another very exciting new feature that we
All right.
have added to the application, which is within the application itself, there's a whole new screen. If you picked some of those schools that have additional steps,
Okay.
it is a next steps. Well, I kind of call it the next step screen, but it will show you, oh, you've ranked this school. And click on here to see the next steps that are required.
Got it.
You've ranked this school, click here to see the next steps that are required. So if there are no additional next steps for the schools that you've listed, you won't see that screen at all.
Got
So
it.
it's like not going to
Okay.
clutter up folks, lives. But if you do need some additional actions, they're spelled out very clearly within the application
Wow.
itself. And we are going to continue to pepper folks with emails the entire application
All right.
season.
Yes.
Get ready, because they're
Information.
coming.
Yes.
And if there's additional, actions you need to take, you will also get those emails.
Yeah.
Got it.
We want our families to be equipped with information. It empowers our families to be able to make decisions
Yeah.
about their child's school. And so, yes, we rather them have more information than not enough to make decisions.
I love that because it is when you talk about those eligibility schools, we're talking about what parents that are listening and listeners, Willow, Lake
Forest.
Forest, Ben Franklin High School. Anyone I'm forgetting, Kristen?
Those are the
Audubon.
testing ones.
Those are the testing
And then
ones.
there's language ones as well.
Okay.
Lycée Français, International School Louisiana,
Audubon.
Heinz for their French program.
Okay.
Which one?
Audubon.
Audubon for their French program,
Okay.
and also Audubon for their Montessori for third grade and up.
Got it. Okay. So parents, you heard right there, those list of schools that require some additional pieces to the application process. And we've been told so far that it is, when you go through the application process, it is now simplified to you on the screen, let you know what those pieces are for those additional schools that you may be interested in.
That's right. And also, if you want to see it all before you go into the application, you can go onto our website, enrollnolaps.com, that K-12 page. We have a priority button there
Kristen, you just
where
beat,
you can
you beat me to all the information.
I'm just
click on the priority schools, and you can see all of it there. You can click on the eligibility schools to see all of it
Good.
there. Yes,
So-
because I will. Sorry,
No,
sorry to cut you off, Dr. Ross.
You are fine. I want people to know that they can go do their homework before
Right.
they do the application.
Absolutely.
Like
Right.
students have homework. Parents, you also have some homework too now when it comes to the
right.
enrollment process, and it's all easily accessible on the website
That's
Yeah.
right, and within the application.
and within the application.
patient.
Hazu. What's up?
Yeah.
All right. Now, how many school choices can families make on their application?
Yeah, so families can choose 12 schools on the
Okay.
application, and we encourage families to select all the schools that they are really interested in their child attending. We encourage families to choose more than one school because if for some reason the one school that
You
you
have.
have as your first choice does not have seats, it will default you back to your last school if
Got it.
if your school's previous school still has those grade levels,
Okay.
right? And so if you are a family who is going on to high school and you don't select enough schools, then you could not be matched during main round
Okay.
to a school because you didn't select other options. And so it's important for families to do their research, like you shared, so that they pick schools that they really want to go to and they rank them in the order of importance. to
Okay.
them. So 12 schools. You
12
can
schools?
choose
That's
up
a
to
lot of
12.
schools.
Yeah, that's a lot of schools to choose from. And it's
Yeah.
okay if you don't choose 12, but we encourage family to choose every school of their interest.
Got it.
That's right.
And
There's
then-
no minimum.
Right,
but,
no minimum.
But we do encourage.
And
Right.
then some
More
of
the
the
better.
things I know families that you're interested in, like drop off time. You know, what time does school end? What
Before care,
extracurricular
after care.
activities are there? Is there before and after care available? All of that kind of stuff. It can be found with those particular on the school profiles, right, Kristen?
Yes, on our Explore Schools
Okay.
tool. Yes, and that is again linked from our website, enrollnolaps.com. Explore Schools tab, and you'll see all of that on the school profile.
Got it. And then we know but in this main round right now, that we know we have a lot of people who are going to be applying for kindergarten, correct?
Yep.
And with that other transition period is from 8th to 9th grade.
Right.
That's correct.
All right. And then what if a parent wants to, like, hey, I'm in 2nd grade. I may not like my school I'm at right now. Could they also use the application right now to potentially look at another school for the upcoming school year?
Yes, it is for families who are also interested in changing schools from where they are
Okay.
currently. Yes.
Nice. Awesome. Make
We
some
would
clarity
always
to that.
say only list the schools that you want more than the school you have now, right? Because you could be matched to any school on your application.
Yeah.
So folks who already have a seat and can continue should keep that in mind. And they'll also get lots of emails from us reminding them of that.
Okay. Nice.
And it is possible to cancel your application at any time.
Got it. Okay.
You can cancel and then reactivate if you wanted to.
Kristen,
if you changed your
I
mind.
have a curious question in mind. I know you all sent up the email reminders. Are y'all doing text message reminders too?
We are if folks have opted in.
Okay.
So I'm glad you
Nice.
mentioned that. Yeah,
Okay.
the SMS opt-in is on the application. So do be sure to opt in if you want to
Okay.
get those texts. We've got that going.
All right. I love that update too.
Listen, we will text you in a minute. If you give us a number, we will keep you informed.
We do have
of the
kind of a low
enrollment.
amount of folks who have opted in because it
Okay.
is a relatively new thing. So
Okay.
check that box.
Yep.
Check that box. Get those text messages. Be connected.
That's
all right. Chris, you spoke earlier about some of the priorities. Can you re-emphasize some of those priorities that families have when
Yeah.
going through the process, please?
Definitely, sure. There's our main priorities are sibling priority,
Okay.
half mile, which means that you live within a half mile of the school.
Okay.
And what we call geo or zone, which means you live in the zip code for the school.
Got
and that
it.
will usually be more than one zip code.
Okay.
Most schools give geographic priority to maybe up to 2 to 3 zip codes.
Okay.
There are some additional priorities that are kind of school specific. That might be if you were a UNO teacher, your
Okay.
student could get priority for Heinz UNO.
Got it.
If you were a Tulane affiliated student or staff, you could get priority to Willow.
Okay.
There's a few other kind of
Okay.
school-specific ones like
Got
that.
it.
But we have all of those priorities listed on our website
Nice.
at enrollnolaps.com. We really want to make it easy for folks to understand, what all the priorities are and eligibilities.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And Doc, you mentioned earlier, so the window to notifying parents has kind of it shrinked. We're going maybe from 4 months, 3 months to now, what, 2 months?
Well, what do you mean when you
What
say
about-
2 months?
Because it ends in January, and
Yep.
then you all are going to do all the background
November,
work.
December, January.
Right.
I'd say 3
Uh-huh.
months.
Yeah,
So about 3 months.
Yes,
3
yeah.
months. Okay, got it. All right.
Yeah.
That's good.
And then, so you also have that period once they are notified
Okay.
of their match where you go through the registration process.
Talk to me about that.
So that's the window of opportunity where families go to their school directly that they've been matched with to submit all their registration documents and take care of all of that paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
And that's usually where you're saying to yourself, I intend to come. Look,
Okay.
I brought my stuff. We're locked in. And that process runs from the time main round results are released
Okay.
around March 31st through April 25th. So
All right.
families have about a month to take
A
care
month
of,
to take care
some
of
of
their
those
business.
housekeeping matters directly with the school. And then we will go through a period of time where we will process everything that's
Okay.
happened through main round, and then we will open up with open enrollment on May 14th. So that's around mid-May this year.
Got it.
with open
So then,
enrollment.
Doc, I'm gonna ask a kind of wonky question. Let's say I was notified March 31st. I'm not really feeling the school that I got. What do I do?
That's when you look for an opportunity in open enrollment.
Okay.
So when that season opens May 14th,
Okay.
you will have the opportunity to see where seats are still available after we have confirmed everything from main round.
Got it.
We will have schools that may still have seats available at that time, and that's when families can seek other opportunities through
Because
an open
I
enrollment.
asked that question, Doc. Go ahead, Kristen. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Kristen, go ahead and add to
I
it.
would add to it that unless it's a school you absolutely know you
Don't
will
want.
not take,
Right.
you should go ahead and register.
Okay.
Right.
Go ahead and save that seat for your child.
Got it.
because then you can also explore the open enrollment opportunities, like Dr. Fulmer was
Got
saying.
it.
There's no reason why you can't do both. Your child is only ever going to have one seat at a time.
Okay.
Right? So if you take a seat at open enrollment, that means you're necessarily in that action of taking the open enrollment seat.
Got it.
You're giving
That's
up your main
right.
round seat.
Okay.
That's right.
Gotcha. Okay. Thanks for that, Kristen.
Yeah,
problem.
that was a good
She-
point.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're here.
Hey, listen.
Because you don't know. I consider myself to be. I'm an Algerian. All right?
Okay.
I'm a proud car grad. And how many phone calls I get about my
Yeah.
child didn't get a seat at car. What can you do? I can't do anything. I
Right.
must work at the district.
Right. yes.
Because I know
Yeah,
certain
we get those
schools,
calls
you know,
too.
Yeah.
are high in demand.
Yes. Our
Exactly.
our high demand schools, we get a lot of calls about what can we do, and the best thing you can do is submit an application during main round.
There you go.
A lot
You
of
heard it right
families, take chances during open enrollment, but your best chance at the seats that you want is during main round.
Good.
And that's because the highest numbers of seats are going to be available
That's right.
in main
Main
round.
round.
That's
Got
right.
it.
That is the most seats that any school will put into the enrollment cycles, if you will. The highest number of seats that will be available all year are going to be available during main round.
That's correct.
Now, Kristen, I think you might know the answer to this question.
Maybe so.
The percentage, what's the percentage of parents that are getting their top 3 choices?
Well, you put me on the spot.
I got-
didn't you?
I feel like
I
this-
believe it's around
93,
94.
93 and
I was going to
94.
say 94%.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's
good.
great.
Yeah.
We
That's
do
real good.
put that out in our press releases
Yes.
every year. So, yeah, I think that is about 94% from our last main round.
That is great.
No, it's
Kudos
pretty.
to you all.
Listen, we're trying to stay above that number. We
Yeah.
always want to meet or exceed where we were from the previous year.
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
It's crazy. I never told you this, Kristen. Doc knows. My dissertation was on one app.
Oh, very cool.
Yes. And families having access to it and being able to navigate the process.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. So
right. Hey, you should do a test application today. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think could be improved. I'm all ears.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I would love to. All right. And as we're getting ready to wrap up, what should families do if they're having difficulty completing the NCAP?
Sure. Yeah, I'll take that.
Okay.
So we have lots of different ways for families to get in touch with us. We've got an email address. We've got a phone number. Here, I've got the information here.
Okay.
So our email for folks to contact us, if you'd like to contact us directly with, with issues, is enroll@nolapublicschools.com. The phone number where folks can reach out to us is 504-910-8500.
Say that one more time, Kristen, so they can get their pen and paper out.
Yep. The email address again is enroll@nolapublicschools.com. That is public schools with an S.
Okay.
And the phone number is 504-910-8500. And we have 3 family resource centers, one on the West Bank, one at Mahalia Jackson in Uptown on Jackson Avenue, and one in New Orleans East at the Net
Okay.
School in the East on Hain. And we also have all of that information on our website at enrollnolaps.com/connect.
Awesome. Lovely. Well said.
All right.
It is such a joy to hear and to know the history and to see the constant changes, the constant evolution of the process over the years. So kudos to you all at Nola PS who are doing this work, those who are back at the office, holding it down while Kristen's here. I know they're waiting for you to come back.
They are.
That is true.
But when we say that, families have choice, this is a way that
Right.
families are able to take advantage of the opportunity of
That's
choice
right.
within our ecosystem of schools.
Right.
right.
All of the choice still has to be, there's a lot of work that has to be done in order
Yes.
to make that accessible and actionable.
There you go.
Right.
And simple.
Yes.
There's my
Right.
favorite word again. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's what
So
we're
you
working for.
hit it right here from Kristen.
That's right.
That there's still more work to be done.
Absolutely.
And although we have made great progress, they're still making small tweaks each and every year.
Yes, I'm all for the continuous improvement.
Continuous
of enrollment.
improvement.
That's right.
I love that. All right. So last question we ask everybody on the show, and Dr. Fulmer, you can go first. What is your one hope for the city of New Orleans?
Well, my hope is, I would say, for everyone who has a role in the life of our scholars
Okay.
in the city, that we all do our part.
All right.
It takes all of us
Okay.
to ensure that our students are successful. So I say that we all do our part to ensure our children have every opportunity,
Boom.
along with the supports that are needed to reach their highest potential, accomplish all their goals, and live their wildest dreams.
I love it. You heard it right here. And Kristen, I'm getting told to wrap it up. So come on, Kristen. Close
Okay,
us out.
real short. I guess my one hope is that the application or any sort of process for choosing your school will never stand in your way. It will be so easy that you've done it so fast that you can just forget about that, and that is not a stress.
Awesome, awesome. So thank you, Dr. Fulmore and Kristen, for joining us today on Talk That, Nola Education, presented by New Schools for New Orleans. Don't forget the application has gone live. It's been live since 10 a.m. today, and it closes when?
January
January
24th,
24th.
There you
midnight.
go. You got it right here. So it was a pleasure having both of you on the show.
Thank
as
you
always.
for having me.
Always.
Thanks so much.
And you all will be back in January as we get
Great.
ready to talk about what?
Early childhood.
Awesome. If you're interested more about dynamic teachers and what's taking place inside around New Orleans Public Schools, follow us on Facebook, the New Orleans Teacher Community, and on Instagram, Nola Teacher Community. This is your host, Dr. Ross, signing off. Peace and nothing but love. Happy Monday.
Speaking to